You've seen him on the field at Red Sox games at Fenway Park, but what exactly does Luis Vasquez, ball attendant for the Boston Red Sox, do? You're about to find out.
You are Locked On Red Sox, your daily Boston Red Sox podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Locked On Red Sox, your daily Boston Red Sox podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. I'm your host, Gabby Maljanian, former ESPN social media associate, and also host of the Boston Balling podcast as well. And I'm here every single day, Monday through Friday, to bring you the latest going on all things Boston Red Sox, whether they're playing well, whether they're playing not so well, which is the case at this very moment in time. I am still here to give you everything going on with this team. So check it out every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Welcome to the show today. I have a very special guest with me today. He's definitely a familiar face if you've been to literally any games at Fenway Park. Luis Vasquez, Red Sox ball attendant. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling great. I'm excited to be here. I'm glad we could make it work and go Sox no matter what happens.
I know, right? Yeah, I know. It's a busy time of year, so definitely happy we were able to get something on the board here and make this work. But yeah, I mean, definitely go Sox always. I actually always end my show saying go Sox no matter what I'm talking about that day. So I definitely feel that vibe for sure. Obviously been a frustrating season so far this year, and we'll definitely get into that. But I'd love for you to talk a little bit about, your role, what it entails, and kind of how you got that opportunity.
Yeah, I love my role. For me personally, it's a way for me to go out my way, ride into the horizon, right into the sunset. So next season will be my 20th season, which is crazy for me to think about. I've been there a while, It's cool to look at the lineups back then versus now. And every time we get like the Marcelo Myers of the world or Roman Anthony's, in the chat, that's pretty exciting for me. I'm like, wow, I look at the most veteran players from where I started and then where we're going. That's range. That's a long time. You'd think I'm 100 years old. So I'm excited to be around it. I'm there for the passion of the game. I'm not there for anything other than to help enhance the fan experience, the visitor experience. I think I have a very unique position. The platform I get to utilize at Fenway gets to be that middle ground between the game and all the focus that the players have during the game, after it, before it, and the fans. You kind of think of it like a movie, right? There's that fourth wall that's never broken. I get to break it. I love being in the middle. So every time you see me, that's why I'm interacting, because it's important for me to make everyone feel the way I wanted to feel growing up going to Fenway, which didn't happen much. But really, I started back in '07 in a different position on our day of game staff. And then I remember, I think right when '08 has started or right at the end of '07, I never did this, but I was asked to cover the break of an elevator operator. I know if you've been to Fenway, you see we have elevator operators who are manually pushing that thing up and down in the heat, in the cold. Kudos to them. Shout out to them. And I'm like, okay, sure, no problem. Just, in there pressing buttons. And in that one time that I did it for 15 minutes for someone's break, this wonderful human being named Jahan Blake, who no longer works with the team, happened to cut through from the players' parking lot in the elevator to the regular ground area that leads you to the concourse. And just through that one interaction, I remember her stopping in her tracks after crossing through and then kind of spotting something in me. She gave me her card and she said, "Give me a call tomorrow. I want to run something by you." And within 2 weeks, I was a Red Sox ambassador. So when I became a Red Sox ambassador, that pretty much is like a part-time front office role year round. And you get to do a lot of very cool things. And for me, that really opened the door to being like, I can be in this world in the long term, in the sports world. So that opened the door to then me realizing I see who manages the ball attendants now. I grew up playing baseball. And so I asked, if I could do it, and the answer was no. It's
Oh,
okay, all good. I asked. And then the next season after that, I asked again, I offered, and it was like a kinder no, hey, we get it, it's all good, but we're all set right now. All right. No problem. Yeah, I just kept working hard, doing my thing. And then the following season after that, they then had a need to fill in for someone last minute, and they asked if I was still interested. And I kind of like never looked back since then. I said, put me in, coach. And for a while, I did both for a long time, just kind of juggling the two. And then since about 2018, I pretty much have exclusively done being a ball attendant. And that's kind of bringing this response full circle, as in I get to go out my way with my Red Sox career, whether I'm actually going to hold myself to that 20 season mark next season or not. It's still like going to be one of the last things I do, where I give a lot of my time to the sports world, and what I guess for the Red Sox, right? Because I'm a dad. So it doesn't really suit me to work full time for any sports team
yeah.
because of the grind that's associated with that, including on the journalistic side and the media. That's a grind. That's grueling. And if you're a parent, it might not be for you. So anyone coming out of school, I'm like, this is perfect for you. Jump in, do it, do you first. So it's just been so perfect.
Yeah, and it's great to be involved. And like you even said, interacting with the fans because it makes them feel more involved in that Fenway
Right.
experience. And I feel like that's just so special for people to be a part of when they go to games is being able to have that type of interaction.
Absolutely. It goes a long way, whether it's a high five or a picture or just stopping to see somebody. I think the most important part about being at a sports venue as a fan is to be seen and to interact with the product on the field. And I don't play shortstop, but I can help to make, let's just say, a little kid leave with an amazing memory. Because for me personally, I don't remember if the games I went to, we won or we lost. I remember the wink. I remember the smile. I remember the wave. That's what I remember. I remember the French fries. So to me, that's what I try to think about. And I keep that at my core.
Yeah, I love that for sure. And I think like not everybody gets super into the game to the point where they're remembering every pitch or every play that takes place in that game. For a lot of people, it's the experience of being there and what they're getting out of it and the people that they're there with. And I feel like that's something that you can help provide for them is like it's more of just like not just a baseball game, but an experience for people.
Definitely. It's an experience. It's an experience, and it's so special. It's already, a challenge for some families to get tickets, to make the Fenway,
Yeah.
to have a good time, to have great seats, to eat something. So I try to just make sure whoever and however many people I interact with, that it can be a positive experience. It can be something that they can talk about for many seasons, many years to come. Like, oh, one time I was able to go down on the field and take a picture on there. Like that, those are the things people leave with. I try to do that as much as possible. I'm always scanning for kids. That's what I'm looking for. Kids, 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 kids. I'm a girl dad as well.
Oh,
So I'm always kind of like early trying to find, all right, where's the little girl? Where's the little girl? Boom, baseball or bobblehead or something. Sometimes I'll bring like little packs of dirt and I'll take care of any kid, any special visitor or someone coming in from Japan. It's not just kids. It's like whoever's got the love and the passion to be there. Like I want to connect with that. And if you don't, I want to change that.
yeah.
I want to make you
Right.
fall in love with Fenway.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
makes you want to keep coming back to the ballpark
Right.
because Fenway's such a special
100%.
place for sure.
It really is. It really is. Like I grew up here, like so many people did, right? And I think they'll really understand what I'm saying. Like you see it every day, you see it all the time. It's in your face. It's on the news. It's all over social media. Whatever, whatever. Right? Fenway and the Red Sox. You grew up here. It's everywhere, and I'm
Oh
still
yeah.
not sick of it. Right? We're not sick of it. We're like all of us are just set on like every season being perfect and every season being a championship season. It is Boston.
Yep.
I get it, but that that is a special kind of love. That is the fact that I still love going in amazes me. I don't take it for granted, not once.
I'll get you right back to my interview with Red Sox ball attendant Luis Vasquez. But first, I have to tell you all about Trade Coffee because we all know that coffee is an absolute lifesaver for the majority of people in the United States. Let's just be real here. It's not just a drink, it's basically a ritual, a lifeline, the thing that gets you from half asleep to fully functioning. And if it's that essential, why settle for anything less than amazing? That's exactly where Trade Coffee comes in. Trade is the number one coffee destination in the US, delivering fresh, incredible coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Whether you're a cold brew fan or a pour over purist, they've got a roast you'll love. What I love about Trade Coffee is that I've never been a huge coffee fan, and I've been very picky about the types of coffee that I get, and I've never really liked it any other place. But ever since I've started getting it from Trade Coffee, I've liked every single one that I've tried, and I have stuck with the go-to flavors that I've gotten from them. And it's really changed my life. So if you're not a huge coffee fan, it even could benefit you. Right now, Trade is exclusively offering our customer 50% off your 1 month trial at drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. That's TRADE.com/lockedonmlb for 50% off your 1 month trial. Drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. I'm telling you, this stuff is really addicting. I've been to other ballparks, and you don't really get anything at other ballparks like you get with that Fenway experience. And you even said, like, Boston as a city expects winning. The fans are super passionate about their teams and they want to see championships. And, you mentioned 2018. You were part of that 2018 season. What was that like, being part of that really special World Series season in which it felt like the Red Sox were winning every day?
I know, I know. What an amazing time. Yeah, me being there as long as I have, I understand. I understand. I get that there's a process to get to that point. So right now, I think we're in the middle of that on structuring something that works for us in this new age of baseball. Baseball now versus even 2018 is a different game. And our farm system is different. It has had to develop over the past few seasons, and now look at some of the things that we have to play with and to work with. So I'm very excited for the future. I'm excited. I am still excited where we stand right now. There's a lot that we can do to mold out what we could look like after the All-Star break. So 2018 is a season like that ends up being like a frosting to the cake. So I love doing that. Sorry, I have a visitor here. I'm using someone else's space. Hi. Hey guys, no problem. Awesome, good to see you. Sorry about that. So 2018, a season like that is more like the frosting to the cake to me, right? Again, to some people who follow the Sox, 2018 needs to be every single season. That's not realistic. It's not realistic. As much as I even wish that we could be that way, it's just not realistic. But those tend to be the seasons that like really make the blood, sweat, and tears and the commitment to your time and everything really worthwhile. And you embrace the journey to get there. We're all going to embrace the days that we've been going through these past few seasons. It's going to just be so bittersweet when our moment comes. I can't wait.
Yeah, and I think too, what people have to remember, and myself included, I remind myself of this sometimes, is it's still May. Like, it's still not even June yet. There's still so much baseball left to be played for this season. And I think about the Tigers last year and where they were at this point in the season, and then they just strung together a bunch of wins in the second half, and then they were a playoff team. So
Exactly.
definitely
Yeah.
not saying the season is over yet. Obviously, things have been incredibly frustrating as a fan to watch things unfold, and with the injuries that they have had this year, that definitely hasn't helped the situation. And you mentioned the future, and I think we're able to see a lot of that future on display now because they had some injuries that have started to make room for some players like Marcelo Meyer, who people have been super excited about seeing get his opportunity in the majors. And now he is getting that shot. And obviously it hurts not having Alex Bregman's bat in the lineup, but it really serves as a reminder of the bright future that the Red Sox have.
Absolutely. Now, I won't answer this question I'm going to ask you, but what do you think with the injuries that we have now, is the ideal situation with how we field everything out.
In terms of like who plays where.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough situation. I think because of the fact that the Red Sox have been talking about moving Christian Campbell over to first base. I don't know if I particularly love that idea because he's been struggling at the plate a little bit as of late, and he's already expected to play both in the outfield and in the infield, and I think that could be a little bit challenging. I think maybe down the road that's something that they could potentially explore. I would like to see them try to acquire a first baseman. At some point that could be kind of the solidified first baseman for the rest of the season. So they're not doing this platoon thing. And I would like to kind of see Christian Campbell, at least right now, stay where he's at so that he can gain that confidence back at the plate. And then, with Marcelo Meyer and that whole situation and Trevor Story, in the outfield, I think if they were to call up Roman Anthony, I think they have to do some serious talks when it comes to Trevor Story and where he's at right now, because he just hasn't been producing offensively at the level that the Red Sox need him to be. And I don't necessarily think they would just cough up that money that they are paying Trevor Story right now, but I think it's more a matter of what's going to help us win games. And if they feel like Roman Anthony is ready to come up, then I would say don't hold back on calling him up, and then try to move Rafaela maybe into the infield and then keep Marcelo Meyer at third and have Rafaela play short. And if they don't want to do that, then, and they want to keep Trevor Story involved, then maybe, move Rafaela into more of a utility role, because he also has the flexibility of playing multiple positions. If I had to choose, I would say I would love to have Roman Anthony up in the majors. I think what he's doing in AAA right now is so telling of his ability to perform at the major league level. I think, keeping Marcelo Meyer where he's at, because he's playing a durable third base right now and he has gained experience at that position in AAA more. And then, moving Rafaela into the infield, and just the Story situation just is what it is. But he just isn't producing enough to the point where I would like to still see him in the lineup every day. And I think it's really hurting the offense, especially with the fact that this offense has now lost Bregman.
Yeah, losing Bregman was tough. He was on fire. And I remember opening day, just all the excitement in the air. We got like near perfect weather for that time of year.
Oh, yeah.
And Bregman was just out there leading by example. I love seeing it. I love seeing a new guy like him come in, being a veteran in MLB, come in and like really have a commanding presence to him, a winning presence to him. And it rubbed off that day. And that, to me, what we saw on opening day, just seeing the Sox go off and the bats go off, like, wow, that was amazing. That felt great. And so it's there. We'll see how everything gets kind of molded out, but
yeah, I think, obviously, unfortunately, we haven't had the best weather in New England for so far over the course of this baseball season. And it's crazy to think about it being almost June. And, the other day it was like in the 50s and cloudy and rainy. And I'm like, that doesn't feel like baseball weather. Like, what are we doing here? So we haven't gotten a lot of good weather days. So when we have, people definitely need to embrace those.
Absolutely. Like there's no reason it's almost June. I'm still using hand warmers when I'm out there. It's just like, it's so frustrating. Like, what are we doing? We can't control the weather, right? But it's ridiculous. It's almost June. I'm layering up. I have like 4 layers out there, and it's not fun. It's not a good time in terms of weather. Everything else is cool.
Hope you're enjoying my conversation with Luis Vasquez, ball attendant for the Boston Red Sox. And I will get you right back to that. But Supply House is a game-changing thing for anybody who's in electrical, HVAC, or plumbing of any kind for their job. Supply House is the reliable way to order products for those types of industries online. They have such an easy to use website that's packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. They also have a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands. My cousin actually works in electrical, so he promotes this because he has personally ordered supplies from Supply House. So he has benefited greatly in his job. So that could be you too if you're in that type of field. Join the Trademaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. It truly is a great way to order your supplies if you're in that type of field. So make sure that you do that today.
It's really funny for me when I hit the field and I go out there and say hi to like the staff members and people on there. Everyone is dressed differently. Some people have polos, they're showing skin, you know, some people have like 3 layers on, or they've got like the heavy jacket to
Yeah.
to
Oh, I
accompany
know.
them that night just in case. It's just, you know, everyone's threshold is different. And it's so interesting to see that. We don't know what to do and how to dress.
No, we really don't. Nobody does. That's typical New England for sure.
Typical New England, but it is almost June, so we gotta turn the corner here. Let's get some nice weather.
Honestly, yeah, it's time for the summer weather. I'm looking for some nice beach days to throw in the mix here too. Do
Definitely.
you have any favorite like memories or favorite conversations that you've had with Red Sox players or coaches or anybody in the Red Sox organization like during your time so far that you've been involved?
Yeah, there's been a lot of cool, you know, just brushes even. Like I would say looking outside of the Red Sox, like the visiting teams that come in and you all of a sudden get to walk by a player like Shohei Ohtani, right? Or or even Mookie coming back and seeing that iteration of Mookie, like, wow, look at this guy, like definitely Red Sox legend. He's still in his prime, Dodgers uniform. Same with Shohei, like, wow, Shohei's like baseball godlike.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like he walks by, and to me, it's been like the coolest thing to experience that he nodded and winked at me as we walked by each other. Like that was Shohei, like that was
So
so cool. And obviously, you contain it, but at heart, we're all still fans, right? We have to bring that around with us. That's important to me. When you work anywhere, you should bring yourself to work. That I think is a winning formula. And gone are the days of cookie cutter and robotic. I like personality. I like humble human beings. And so when you're down on the field and you get to interact with players, you get a good read on that, on who's human, who says hello, uh, vice versa. Who is going out of their way to see how you're really doing. And you don't expect that. I don't expect that at all. And I don't want that. I want everyone down there to stay focused. But it is really cool to kind of pry open that door a bit and see the human side to people, to players, coaches, staff, game day staff, everyone. To me, it's such a treat again, really, to stand where I stand and to get that view to everyone. I get a 360 view, and I'll always cherish that. It's why I document the way I do. I take so many pictures, videos. I've got cool mementos, right? That may come along here and there because I know this window is closing for me. So I'm trying to just make it the best experience possible and to have the biggest impact possible on those around me. Uh, so yeah, we get to have pretty cool interactions. I'll never forget though, like even looking back, one time we were having a staff meeting, kind of just a little gathering and catching up in the concourse underneath the left field stands. Down below there's a tunnel, and all of a sudden I see everyone kind of looking at me. What's going on? And they're kind of like half smiling, and I realize they're not really looking at me. Maybe there's something behind me, and I turn around, and right over my shoulder is Sammy Sosa. Like, what? And he's making
no
funny
way.
faces. So little moments like that, like a Shohei wink or a Sammy Sosa making a face, like those are the sides you get to see. Like those moments like that, amazing. I love human moments. Yeah, there's cool home runs and nice plays and all that, but uh, really, it's the human aspect of it to me that just is so cool. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Being able to have that view
Yeah, and that's
on the
the big
field.
thing too. Like it's
Yeah,
just so
yeah,
cool because like it really like serves as a reminder to people that athletes are people first too. And it's like this is just their job. Like, like they're going out there every day trying to produce at a high level.
Yeah,
Like the rest of us doing our job, they just happen to have a job that's more in the spotlight than others. But like it really, when you get to see that aspect, like the human side of the players, I think that's cool.
for sure. And then another surprising one for me that I never would have guessed is just being cool with the umpires. The umpires are cool. I feel like sometimes in positions like that, you don't really go noticed. If you do a great job, right? If you have just a perfect game called, not the pitching sense, but I mean like just you got everything right that game, it doesn't get noticed, right? Because that allowed the game to continue. You don't notice when umpires do an amazing job. And so I think they are like unsung heroes. And so to see that, to interact with them, be close to them, they are so cool. They are so human. They are so kind. They are just, just good dudes that I never thought to even think that, oh yeah, there is a personality behind that guy. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mentioned before, like even someone like Laz Diaz, who gets a lot of his moments put into a microscope. He is just one of the coolest dudes in baseball. He is so just authentic and him. And maybe I think just I understand just that working style because I try to do the same, which is just bring me to work, as I was just talking about. I feel like he does that. If you keep an eye on him during the game, he's always talking to someone, whether it's one of us or the second baseman or a coach or even fans. I love Laz Diaz. I'm on the bandwagon, but that's because I've seen the human side, and I don't just judge from TV.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is it's like a lot of people only see what they see on TV. They see, interviews that players are doing, or they see like an umpire just doing his job, like, behind home plate or wherever it may be. And it's like you don't know these people. You don't actually know who they are
Right.
as human beings. And I think it's cool that you get that opportunity to really talk to them and say, like, oh, like he has a funny personality or something, or like he's super outgoing. Like as fans, you don't get to see all that stuff all the time.
No, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah. But I would say for the on-field product, there's really only one guy where I'm like, okay, like you got me on the edge of my seat with your defense. Like I'm never gonna forget what you do. Amazing. And that's Rafaela. On defense, I don't think I've seen anyone quite like him. So to see that up close, man, yeah, he's got it. Whatever that is, he's got it. He's special. So we'll see what happens
Yeah,
with
he's
his
a fun
career.
athlete to watch. He's definitely versatile. Like he has a lot of different aspects of his game that he brings to the table, and you don't really get that in every player. Like that's what I really like about guys like him and Jaron Duran is they just truly are super athletic and they just have a versatile game, and there's just so many things that they can do. And like those are special players that are fun to watch because they have so much they can offer that not everybody does. And there's both of them, are really fast too and can offer that plus speed on the base path. So it's definitely fun to watch those types of guys. And obviously Rafaela's defense just goes without saying is phenomenal. And some of those plays that he makes in the outfield, I'm like, wow, you don't see that every day.
No, you don't see it. Yeah. And when you see him like in that mode, like that ball's a mile away, but the way he approaches that, the way he takes off and runs for it, you just know something amazing is about to happen, and he delivers. That's pretty cool. I wish him
Yeah,
all the safety in the world, but yeah, everything he does is
right.
pretty cool.
I know, yeah, definitely don't want to see injuries back there either. But yeah, there is something about when the ball gets hit in his direction, you almost feel like he's going to make the play no matter what, and that's really cool because you don't really get that with every center fielder, and it's really cool to see him because defensively he reminds me a lot of JBJ, like just
Same.
a
That's what I had in my head right
phenomenal
now.
defender out there, and I just
Hmm.
like picture JBJ a lot, and I'm like, wow, like that's a play that we haven't seen somebody in that position make since JBJ. So it's definitely cool to think about that too.
Yeah, yeah. JBJ, he also had it. He had the it factor for defense, and man, and he could still go. If you suit him up now, JBJ could do what he does. Absolutely, 100%. And speaking of that, like you asked like what are some cool moments down there on the field? I would say when players come back after they're traded or if they sign somewhere else, and JBJ was one of those guys. you see him at that top step, and you see a lot of players like him who return and are, on opposing teams, but they're taking in Fenway and what Fenway is, and you see him at that top step before the game is about to start and really absorbing everything, and it's cool to see them have that appreciation. And for me, it's pretty cool to be able to just, hey, like, dap up, you know, thanks for everything you did for us, good luck with everything, and for them to be like just so human about returning and being told that. I love that moment because where I start usually is on the third base side. I like getting it out of the way because you're like an extended third baseman. Balls come in hot over there. So that is why I always start on the third base side, to get it out of the way. Because then the first base side, yeah, it's still a tough job, but it's a little further out, So you get a little more breathing room. So
That's
I get to walk by that visiting side before every game, and I get that view of returning players. Like, wow, like really taking in what Fenway means to them and how special it is. That's cool. Or like when Xander came back, you could tell that was a homecoming.
Oh yeah, I know. That was definitely a hard goodbye for sure. Was him leaving, but I know players speak so highly of Fenway and playing there. Like even players who have never played for the Red Sox but
Right.
come just as a visitor, they just say there's something about Fenway that's just such a special place to play. And I know even Lucas Giolito was talking about it at one point, how he's just so excited to be in Boston because he just has always loved coming into Fenway and playing there. And I truly feel like, and you can obviously speak to this a little bit more, but the atmosphere that Fenway provides and just like the crowd there is just something that's like truly special and really helps fuel the players.
Yeah, MLB wise, I love going to other ballparks. I love it. Wherever I travel to, I don't care if it's a family trip or a work conference, whatever it is, I'm going to try to see who's playing that night, and I'm going to go. I love going to other ballparks. I love experiencing that. I love seeing how they do things, with the operations of it all. So, and also the fan experience. I love that. But I would take Fenway on a quote unquote bad day over anything else or anywhere else. There's something special about Fenway. And you see that too, like when players come in from, other teams and they put out videos about going inside the monster and touring it and signing it. That's a regular occurrence. I feel like every team visit we get for a visiting team, they've got a crew of players who want to check out the monster and go in there and just see how cool Fenway is. That's special.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, there's just so much history there that you don't really get at other ballparks. And my husband and I are actually trying to do the full, like, go to every ballpark at some point,
Sweet.
that whole thing. But there's definitely nothing like Fenway and being there. And, that's why we go as often as we do, because it's just so special to take in that atmosphere. Even if the Red Sox aren't playing well, it's still just like being there and being part of that history and thinking about all of the players that have, played there at that same ballpark in a Red Sox
Exactly.
uniform. It's just so special because so many
Yeah.
ballparks you can't say that about.
No, exactly. Yeah. And even if you look at like the archived images of Fenway and the old, like from the 1920s and the 50s and the 60s, like, wow, like that is Fenway. That's like nothing has changed. It looks the same. It's crazy to stand on hollow ground. Like, what? That, like, I'm right there and so and so goes here. Like, it's just so cool. It's so cool how it hasn't changed, right? And you can't say that about other physical entities or places that just fall behind, right? They're not modern. They need all this work done. Fenway, even when there's work done, they make it look like it's always been there. And that is so cool. That approach is so unique. You don't see that everywhere.
No, you really don't. And I think it's just so special to be a part of that. And I think what you do is so rewarding and is probably just such an unforgettable experience. And, hopefully, and it seems like you really are able to just like take it in every time you're there and just kind of appreciate like what exactly it is and everything that the Fenway experience gives you.
Absolutely. And I'm laughing a little bit because I'm remembering I I've been asked twice during the game if I'm
Yeah.
praying. And I'm, as beautiful as that is, no, no, I'm not. I'm not praying. What I do, and I don't force myself to do it at all. It's just, it's an instinct thing, an appreciation thing. I kind of put out my arms and my feet as I'm sitting on the bucket. It could be right in the middle of an inning. I'm just looking down at myself like, wow, like, this is so special. This is incredible. Like, I get to wear this uniform, this historic uniform. I'm truly honored. I know how special it is. It's such a privilege to wear that uniform. And I'm just absorbing that and I'm appreciating that. And that's what I do a couple times a game. I love anyone who is big on prayer, but no, I'm not praying. If you ever see me do that, it's appreciation. It's a Fenway prayer, sure.
No, that's cool though. That's definitely
You
cool.
know,
Definitely something to never take for granted and just cherish every moment of. And, it's so cool to kind of hear about that experience. And, as somebody who is a lifelong Red Sox fan, I definitely, appreciate you being able to have that type of experience and be that close to the action and the players. There really is nothing like baseball. It's the best sport in the world. And being able to be that close to everything, I mean, I can't even imagine.
yeah, no, I am such a huge fan of where the game is going, and I mean that from an international standpoint. I love the World Baseball Classic. I love the Caribbean Series, and over the past few years, I've made it my mission to go to like literally be there for those tournaments, and the World Baseball Classic especially has like wow, really I think captured a lot of new baseball fans and has grown the game. It's helping to elevate everything around it. I feel like for a while, a few years ago, we were all kind of rightfully concerned about the slow growth of baseball with the new generations coming in of kids and wanting kids to play baseball and become ball players, especially here in this country. You know, we got to really balance that out with the other sports. And I think international sports, not just baseball, you saw what the NHL just did recently. That was amazing during the All-Star break. I think has answered a lot of those concerns with elevating, in this case, baseball. So I can't wait for it. I'll definitely be there in February of next
Yeah.
year or January. No, I have tickets to nothing, not even a plane ticket, but I'll be there because that to me, wow. I went to Venezuela versus DR in
Wow.
Miami, and that wasn't even a championship game or a semifinal. That was just two powerhouses going at it, and it was the best game, the most exciting game I have ever attended in my life. Over a
Really?
World
That's
Series or
so
a wild
cool.
card game. Yeah, that was the number one game. Everyone was on their feet. Every pitch was exciting, nonstop chanting and whatever. It was just so, just the buzz was there. It had the it factor. I
Wow,
hope we do
that's
it.
such a
Yeah,
cool experience. And yeah, I do think it's really cool, like the effort that Major League Baseball is making to continue to grow the game internationally, because I think that's just so important. And I think, I love the World Baseball Classic too. I am also very excited about it.
nice.
And that's just such an unforgettable experience. I just love the sport and I love being able to talk about it, hence why I am here. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on and share your experience, because it's definitely super unique and special.
Yeah, no, I love being down there. I appreciate it. And me saying next season is my final season is probably a lie to myself. I love being there so much. And
Yeah.
it's really become a part of who I am. I literally was, I think 18 the same week as my orientation when I joined the organization. So I spent my whole adult life there.
Yeah.
And it's a part of who I am. It's a part of my identity. And I'm so appreciative of that growing up a fan to then, have that be the case. It's very special. I don't take it for granted. And I love that the Red Sox trust me enough and just let me go out there and do my thing and know that I'm going to do it as best as I can to not just represent me, but the entire organization.
Yeah, no, I love that so much. And, obviously we both came to an agreement at the beginning that we always say go Sox, no matter what. And I always try to remind people of that. Very long baseball season, still tons more baseball left to be played. And even when they aren't playing well, I still love watching the Red Sox. And, I get so bored during the off season when they aren't playing.
Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate just having Red Sox baseball no matter what. But I really do appreciate you taking the time. Everybody, as always, like I do always say, just continue to keep the faith and go Red Sox. And most of all, I will catch you next time.